What's going on, everybody? So this is just a newer, updated version of what I have seen recently. Pretty much only movies. I was able to get like 2, 3 movies, and then a couple more like miscellaneous news that jumped up quite a bit. So I thought I could do at least a video for now. And yes, sadly, sorry, Dad, I did not get to Gladiator 2 for this video, but I'm pretty sure we'll be in the next one, and I'm pretty sure I'll send you a text about how I felt about that movie coming up soon. But yes, for the first movie that I saw that I thought was the better of the three was Conclave with Ralph Fiennes and like Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow. It's pretty much like a Best Picture nominee that came out for the Oscars late in 2024, and pretty much the synopsis of it is Thomas Lawrence, who's played by Ralph Fiennes, or excuse me, Ray Fiennes, organizes a conclave to elect the next pope and finds himself investigating secrets and scandals about the major candidates. So it's kind of like, yeah, I was kind of surprised that they're able to make this movie because a lot of the places that it looked like they filmed looked like it was maybe in Rome and all that stuff. But I saw the behind the scenes and they did an amazing job of like building up their own stuff and making it look as accurate as possible. And even some of the visual effects, like the digital stuff that they put in there to still make it seem like they were in Rome and Italy and all that stuff. It's pretty amazing. And obviously the costumes and all that stuff was good. I'm pretty sure that's why they were nominated for those type of awards. But yeah, overall, this was a really good movie. Sadly, I did not like enjoy it as much as I thought I would, just because I watched it when I was like kind of sleepy. So then you're watching a movie where everybody kind of talks like this and serious and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, you kind of like go in and out here and there. But I still paid attention for 90% of the movie. I'm pretty sure of it. But yeah, it was pretty interesting because it kind of becomes like a investigation mystery type of thing where you start hearing certain stuff, kind of like the plot says about certain candidates that are becoming like the main person. I guess you become pope if all the cardinals like a certain amount of percentage, or like I think a certain amount of votes, like 75 or something like that, of like the 200 or something vote for you. And it was always like, well, this one candidate is going, but then all of a sudden he would hear something bad about that or something behind the scenes, and then he would like try to sway the other people to start voting for somebody else. And even himself, Ray Fiennes' character, did not want to be part of that. He didn't even want to be the person to get the conclave together and pick the people he wanted to like leave the place and stuff. But basically the movie starts off with that pope passing away, and that's why they have to do all this like figuring out who is going to be the next one. I won't give it away who it is in the end, but overall, yes, it definitely deserved to be an Oscar contender in my opinion. And yeah, if you want some type of mystery-ish movie, yes, it is kind of slow here and there, about 2 hours. So if you could get through it, then I would definitely recommend Conclave. And then the other day, we were able to watch this movie called The Impossible with Naomi Watts, Ewan McGregor, and even like a young Tom Holland at the time. Basically, the plot is a couple and their 3 sons encounter terror, courage, and compassion following the December 2004 tsunami that devastated Thailand. So, yes, his family was on vacation in Thailand, and I totally forget, like, I always think of, like, some other big earthquake that led to a big tsunami, like, a couple years after that, but I always forget about this one. And, yeah, they were down there and had a nice resort and everything, but then all of a sudden, chaos happens, and, yeah, that was a pretty epic, messed up scene of everything. And I don't know how they were able to film that, because it looked pretty much like they filmed when there was a tsunami and stuff. But yeah, they did a really good job right there in my opinion. And then it's basically like one son and the mother are together, and then the other 2 sons and the father, they're basically separated. And then basically the whole movie is for them trying to find each other and all that stuff. So yeah, it's pretty tearjerker and pretty serious movie here and there, but overall, I thought it was really good. I have heard about it before. I always put it in like my watch list movies because I knew like the 2 top actors, but I never realized what it was about. But luckily, one of my stepdaughters ended up picking that movie as the one she wanted to watch, so luckily I was able to finally watch it. But yeah, it is a tough watch because there are some serious stuff and injuries that end up happening to some of the main characters, and they're dealing with that and having to go to the hospital and stuff just to survive. And basically, it's a madhouse because everybody is there and going through it. But yeah, overall, I definitely recommend The Impossible. And there was another movie on Amazon Prime I watched called Brothers with Josh Brolin and Peter Dinklage, where they play basically twin brothers, I would assume, but they're not twins because one's normal size, the other one's dwarf size. But Basic synopsis of that is two criminal twin brothers, one trying to reform, embark on a dangerous heist road trip. Facing legal troubles, gunfights, and family drama, they must reconcile their differences before their mission leads to self-destruction. And that's basically what it is. The smaller brother is basically the bad guy, getting the other one into trouble, and always trying to steal stuff and break in. And every time they try to, they always end up getting caught and doing some time. But Josh Brolin's character is the one that decided to try to live a regular life and not do any of this shortcuts to try to get rich stuff. But his brother is still doing it, and kind of said like there's one like last thing that he needs help on. And yeah, they have some drama with their mother too that left them when they were younger, and that was in the process of her making a steal and trying to get away from the cops and all that stuff. So yeah, and their mother's played by Glenn Close, who does a pretty good job in her small part in the movie. But yeah, I thought it was going to be overall more funny and even a little bit of a better movie, because I don't even remember the director, but it was just okay in my opinion. It's like nothing you have to go out and see or push yourself to watch. And I thought I was going to hear more about it when it came out late, like October or something like that in 2024, but I never really heard about it, and I guess I understand why, because it does kind of falter in some spots. But if you're kind of looking for a kind of funny movie here and there and heist type of thing, then I guess go ahead and watch it. And to end off this movie/TV show video with some more miscellaneous news, according to discussing film, Dwayne Johnson and Leonardo DiCaprio and Emily Blunt will star in a new Martin Scorsese crime thriller described as The Departed meets Goodfellas, follows an aspiring mob boss who fights rival crime factions for control of the underworld of the Hawaiian Islands. Of course, probably had to get Dwayne Johnson in there. Yeah, he's not the more typical guy to be in a Martin Scorsese film, but we'll see how he does. And then when it comes to Constantine 2 and Keanu Reeves and what he has been doing behind the scenes with DC, according to him, he said that he pitched a story to DC recently and they approved. Script is now being written. They've been trying to get a sequel made for over a decade and will take place in the same world as the original film, which is great. Even James Cameron recently said about Avatar Fire and Ash, the third film in the franchise, he said that it's the most emotional and maybe the best of the three films. It's pretty heart-wrenching in a good way, according to a quote. And then Apple recently said that Severance is now more popular than Ted Lasso. I was kind of quietly celebrating this just because I'm not the biggest fan of Jason Sudeikis and him getting all this accolades for that show, Ted Lasso. I have not cared to watch it and still don't care to watch it, even though people say it is good. Maybe at some point later down the road I probably will, but I'm just glad that the show that I'm watching now on Apple that I'm really into is now taking a hold of it, and it hasn't been around as long too, so that kind of made it a little bit more better. And then, according to discussing film, Aya Edebiri, who is one of the stars of The Bear, apparently is in talks to star and write in a live-action Barney movie for A24, and then Daniel Kaluuya will produce. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. I thought Barney was already live action, but I know they have been doing some animated versions of him for kids nowadays. But I don't know, with A24 it could be a really good movie, like Oscar type, or it could be like a very strange movie too, so you never know. And I believe the third Star Wars film, Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3, is going to return to theaters April 25th for its 20-year anniversary, so that's pretty awesome. So hopefully I'll be able to have some time to go check that out. And then, speaking of Star Wars, yes, Kathleen Kennedy, who is the president of Lucasfilm, is reportedly stepping down at the end of 2025. I guess she was probably going to step down last year, but it wasn't really like a positive like show or movie that came out where she could step down in. But I guess this year it's been okay, and I think Andor Season 2, which looks way better, is coming out pretty soon too, so I guess she could go off on that high. She's not like fully retiring. She's still going to produce in other films, which is what she used to do with like Steven Spielberg and all those stuff. But anyways, we'll see who they end up picking up for the new president of Lucasfilm. And then when it comes to two anonymous Oscar voters, apparently they didn't vote for Ralph Fiennes because they thought he won before, and they both believed he won an Oscar for Schindler's List, which he didn't. So this kind of really already throws the Oscars under the bus and makes me not really like kind of respect it anymore. I thought it was like the last thing where people actually voted because they watched certain films and all this stuff. But I don't know, it's kind of like the Grammys. The Grammys has kind of become like, if it's the more popular thing, then it's given the award and not because it's the best thing. I thought the Billboard award show was for that. But either way, that's my rant on the Grammys. So hopefully the Oscars can get that cleared up. And then, yeah, congrats to Dune 2, where apparently 4 anonymous Oscar voters said they didn't even watch Dune Part 2 and abstained from ranking it in their Best Picture ballot because the first Dune movie, they couldn't get through it, and I'm not rushing through another 3 hours of Dune. This is the problem with people who didn't like Dune 1. Yes, Dune Part 1 is a very slow movie. I will even say it's slow. Sometimes it might even take me 2 times to watch it if I ever do attempt to watch it. The last time I was able to watch it fully, and yes, you do feel the full 2.5 hours, but it's way different. It's way more fast-paced, even though it's kind of like the same time, the 2.5 hour run length, and there's way more action, which is what everybody loves. So there's more action. It's still fast-cutting, fast-paced, and then to me, it's a way better film than Dune Part 1, but I understand why people will say they kind of skipped it because of that, but please give Dune Part 2 a chance. Please. And then, yes, sadly, Michelle Trachtenberg recently passed away at 39 after a liver transplant, which is pretty crazy. I remember her from like Harriet the Spy and that adult comedy teen movie called Euro Trip and all that stuff. So, yeah, it sucks to see, especially after a liver transplant. You thought she would be fine, but I guess there was complications, and yeah, sadly she passed away. And also Gene Hackman and his wife ended up passing away too. But yeah, they said that them two and their dog were all found dead at their home, and police are currently believing that there was no foul play, but there is an active death investigation because they did find out there was no like carbon monoxide or anything like that, and they believe they looked at Hackman's pacemaker, and it said that he had passed away like a certain amount of time before anybody knew about it, or that he was pronounced dead too, or something like that. So, I don't know. A lot of questions here. A lot of people will say it's, Illuminati or some behind-the-scenes dark Hollywood stuff. You never know. But, I don't know. Hopefully we'll be able to find out at some point the real truth in the near future. Thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.